Okay, good morning and good morning and welcome to this session, everyone. Well, this is Aruja Royal Theatre, and then this is Holding Talks. I am, if you see what we wrote on the flyer, Holding Talks 40. So in a normal situation, maybe we should be throwing some party for this edition, but fortunately, it is happening digitally. That is because, like we say, 40 is a marathon. 40 is a marathon. So we've been doing this for a long time, and this is the 40th edition of it, both physical and digital edition, virtual edition combined. And today, we have the pleasure of bringing on the platform a brother, a friend, a partner, I should say, because he has written plays for Aroja to perform. His play, which I hope that we will get the time to read a short excerpt of today, apart from his poetry, was Abuja's entry for the Festival of Nigerian Play in 2013. In 2013, his play, Call for Me, My Osheni, was Abuja's entry to the Festival of Nigerian Plays in 2013. So his play has graced the National Theatre of Nigeria, which of course has just been restored back to his glorious day in terms of facilities. But in terms of programming and what will happen, we don't know yet. But so we have the pleasure in having with us Dr. Seyi Adigun, who was also a two-term chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, Abuja chapter. So he's not just a medical doctor, he's a literary doctor. That's what we should call it? He's a literary giant. He's a literary giant on his own, I must say. So he has been pretty much involved in the history of literary arts in Nigeria, and a bit beyond as well, because his play has gone very far. His poetry also has gone quite, far. So today, in giving that background, we are going to be talking about something we are sure is very, very, conversant with. Where the issue of art and, of course, medicine. The art in medicine. So we are talking today about art as therapy. So that is where we start, and in about 10 minutes, Dr. Seyi Adigun is just going to lay some background, just going to talk briefly about art as therapy. And after that, we then dive into his literary work and, get to interact with him, to pick up, some knowledge from him, and as well to unlearn and relearn certain things as it relates to his exploits in creative expression. So, Dr. Seyi Adigun, you are welcome once again.
Thank you so much.
In the house, we have our own professor, Emal Silva, who is the lead, coordinator of the creative and tourism sector group in Nigeria, and he's also the CEO of Treasure for Life AGH. You're welcome, Prof.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Prof.
Good morning, Prof. Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, sir. Sorry, it is Mr. Jerry that calls me Prof and some other people. I'm not a Prof.
No.
I'm Mr. Silva.
That's why I said our own Prof. I did not say Professor Emai Silva. I said our own professor. So they can go to court. We'll settle it. Take court.
Good morning, sir. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Mr. Jerry.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the good work you do.
Thank you, sir. Thanks for joining us. And of course, we have
Dr. Adigun. I really look forward to listening. I'm an artist.
Oh. Network is dealing with us today. So we have in the house Dr. Olai Fatimeyi, the immediate past head of theater and theater department, Bayero University, Kano. I'm sure probably Dr. Adigun will remember Dr. Olai Fatimeyi himself. We have our brother and friend from Kenya, Isaac Kalumba, all the way from Kenya, is in the house with us as well. And of course, my brother Etim Peter, who will join in reading. Shade is not here yet, but my brother Etim Peter will join in reading an excerpt of Call for Me, My Osheni, when we get to that point. And just arriving in the house is our ever supporting structure and Egbon, Kole Odutola. You're welcome, sir. I am sure that this is very early for you, but still you are here with us considering the time difference. Thank you for joining us. And so right about now, I'm going to yield the mic to Dr. Seyi Adigun to briefly speak to us before we now delve into the creative aspect of today's engagement. You have the floor, sir.
Thank you so much. The Aroja himself, Jerry Adeshewu. I want to greet every other person on the platform this morning, from our home prof, Masiva, Etim Peter, Isaac Kalumba, Ole Odutola, and Dr. Ifatimeyi. Well, I want to start by expressing my profound gratitude to have been accorded such an honor to come on this platform this morning. It's always a refreshing time to share notes and ideas with other literary-minded people anytime. And the discourse about medicine, arts, therapy is always one that anytime it comes on the table, for those of us who are medically inclined, it takes some kind of energy trying to make it look normal, that literature is not far apart from medical science. It's just the turn of events now that education has become something that is so tunnel vision in many aspects, and people do not want to see the full the full purview of what they are pursuing. But if you look at it critically, I think it's not something that should take so much time to talk about why medicine, arts, literature, and any kind of genres of the arts are not all that far apart. Because indeed, medicine itself is an art in every sense of it, and that's the way I see it. So each time I see someone who is in the medical sciences, active in the literary sphere, I'm not taken aback at all. I'm not shocked. I'm not surprised. In fact, I'm always surprised when I see people who are into the medical sciences and do not have any affinity or any inclination towards the arts. That is what actually takes me by surprise. And I feel also that it's not just medicine. Many other things, many other aspects of human endeavor, the architecture, many other vocation that we pursue other than medicine, all have a centrality towards the arts and towards literature, because all of human activities are the fulcrum around which discourses are made. They are the fulcrum around which conversations in the heart are made. Dramatization, the theatrics that go on daily in our daily life. These are the things that we also find on stage. And of course, specifically, we can see that medicine, anybody can just guess what medicine is all about. Medicine is about human life. Human medicine is about human life. We deal with human beings. We deal with human situations. And so if art is all about humanity, then the the the, the synergy, I mean the interconnection is just, as lawyers always say, the matter speaks for itself. So all through time, from famous writers, from my favorite poets that I got very glued to right in childhood, John Keats, Ode to a Nightingale, uh, down through more recent authors, in our own time and even before. We see writers showing this affinity, this inclination, which I feel is to be expected. We should not be shocked. We should not be surprised that doctors who daily interface with human beings and their situations, their plights, their stories, should also be at the very center of literature. That's my perspective, and that's so for me. Is not one is not doing something strange, being active in the literary sphere at all. So, Jerry. I hope I'm on.
Yes, you are on, and thank you. I mean that's your insight about art and medicine was meant to be a starter, and that's exactly what it has done. But before we delve into the creative part of you, aspect of you, have told us now also that medicine is an art itself, and I cannot agree less. However, we are right about now, and I just have one or two questions to ask you before we delve into your creative activities, and then maybe one or two other persons here too will want to ask one or two questions before we move into your poetry and then your play and another thing. And so for me, maybe the very first question to shoot at you is to say, to ask exactly how your journey as a medical doctor influenced your interests in art, or the other, or vice versa. So which one influences the other?
Okay, I think yes. You almost caught yourself, but you corrected yourself, because it's actually the other way around. I attended public institutions all through my life, from a central primary school in a typical village setting in Shonga, in Kwara State. And my experiences, I feel I'm lucky to have gone through that kind of journey. Sometimes very hard and tough, but in all, I find the journey exciting. It was at the Bible Primary School, a public school in Ilorin, where I came in contact. I think I was in primary 5 or 6. Came in contact with one rustic-looking piece of poetry in one of the ramshackle library, and I read at that very young age. I read for the first time a piece of poem that I feel is very engaging beyond the little twinkle star. And that's John Keats' Ode to a Nightingale. And when I read it at that time, I really cannot contextualize what it was all about. But that experience became etched in my psyche. And later on, when I got to GSS Ilorin, the secondary school where I attended, and joined the Literary and Debating Society, I went further, remembering having that last experience. I went further in search of more of John Keats, and that's how I became a student of John Keats in secondary school. And that journey also brought me close to, while in secondary school, brought me close to the Kwara State Council for Art and Culture under the late Dr. Stella Dare Oyedepo, who was at the National Theatre until her demise.
National Theatre.
Yes. So while at GSS, eventually I entered science class, but because of my activities in the Literary and Debating Society, going for competitions, drama, plays, and all of that, I became very fascinated with what's being done at the council there, and received a lot of support and tutelage. And I got more exposed to better libraries of literary work. And that's where I more in depth now read the works of John Keats, and came to realize that in fact, John Keats was in his own time typically someone will refer to as a physician in his own time. And I made up my mind that, look, luckily enough, I was already in the sciences. I just made up my mind, look, let me follow this young chap, in his own track, and I had already started writing poetry. So I just decided, let me also read medicine. John Keats was a poet and a doctor, and I'm already feeling like I'm a poet. Why not also join the medical thing to it? And there you go with my track, pursuing medicine as a result of my introduction early on to the works of John Keats. So I think that is actually the foregrounding of the push towards medicine.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Thank you so much. I have a hand up. Let's take Dr. Kole Odutola. Let me not. Yes. So, Doctor, you have the floor.
Yeah, thank you very much indeed. I'm sure there's no need preaching to the choir, because we all know there's a growing number. I think I have done that. Let's see. Yes, I am muted already. Hello? Okay, let's see.
Okay, I have.
Hello? Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, sir.
Okay, all right, good. Yeah, I said there's no need preaching to the choir that there is a growing number of
we can hear you now.
Okay, there's a growing number of doctors, especially.
We can hear you now. You can go ahead.
Okay, I was saying that there's no need preaching to the choir.
Yes, we can hear you. Sure, we can hear you.
Okay. I was saying that there's no need preaching to the choir, because we all know that there's a long list of medical practitioners that are also writers. We have people like Dr. Wale Okediron, we have Tony Mario, we have Femi Olugbule, and the rest. And the attraction for writing is what I don't understand, how they find the time as people who are constantly on call and have to see patients. I know there are lots of stories that are generated from their daily job, and also
okay, so you can start because
you can't hear me. I can hear you clearly.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I think Jerry is having problems hearing me. All right.
The problem is with Jerry's network. We can hear you clearly.
I thought so too. The observation I was going to make was, how did we arrive at the space for surgery being called theater, and the place of playmaking and performance being called theater? You know, is there any coincidence in that name, where you operate on people, you open them up and you sew them up, and then in the theater, it's a place of performance and of entertainment, of escapism as well. So that's one observation. You know, the two, how we ended up calling a performance-based theater and the place where you perform surgery as theater. The second thing I would like to also mention, and this is just a piece of observation, I am at the University of Florida, and a woman, Jane, she's now Dr. Jane, started a unit called Arts in Medicine. And she has empirical data now to show that when you introduce any form of art, music, art therapy into the clinic, that patients get well quicker. And I'm just wondering, is there room for such a course in Nigeria? And as a medical doctor, have you seen the possibility of let's even not be too intrusive now, of just music being played to your patients? And what would be your observation? And I know that in the Bible as well, that young chap who was called to play the harp to one of the kings who was sick, and he got well. I haven't really looked into the research, but I taught a class 2 days ago about the philosophy of music, and we were looking at how music is both an art and a science. And there was one part of it, the role of music, saying that it's for catharsis and for healing. But this is what we do in this part of the world. I'm just wondering, what is the situation in a place like Kwara, like Nigeria? Do doctors or the administrators ever bother to bring the two formally into the wards to hasten or facilitate the healing of patients? Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Wow. Thank you so much. I'm not hearing from Jerry, so I feel I should just respond briefly to what you have raised, sir. Firstly, in terms of time, doctors having time or medical people having time for the arts and literature, I think we all have enough time to do all the things that we want to do. In clinic, you hear some patient when you are telling them about lifestyle adjustment. Each time they will tell you, "Oh, my work is I have a very tight schedule." You know, everybody always feel they are busy, but still, we all know that indeed we all have enough time to do all the things that we want to do. So just like every other person, I think medical doctors, people in in medical sciences, no matter their schedules, have enough time to do what they want to do, including pursuing their vocation, including pursuing all the other things that are not in their core career. So there is enough time. I can assure you, sir. Doctors have enough time to do sports, to do arts, to do anything they want to do. Then the very interesting aspect of okay, before I forget that, I really don't know how the etymology of this theater and that similarity, the similitude of the dramatic theater and the surgical theater. I don't know how it came about, but I guess because in both sphere, in both spaces, some actions, some dynamic things are taking place. Human activities that are very dynamic, human interventions that are dynamic are taking place. But the specific etymology, how it happened, that the two words, the two descriptions pointing similarly, I don't know how it came about. Maybe some other more knowledgeable and versatile people in the house will help us out with that. And it's interesting to note the innovation that is taking place.
I am sure. Okay.
At the University of Ilorin, the arts in medicine unit. That is a very interesting development. Jerry Adeshewu will recall that some years back, there was a corporation we were trying to work on. That time, I was holding a post in Kwara, a political appointment as chairman of the governing council of the Kwara State College of Nursing. And we wanted to introduce a concept of health action training into the school curriculum. If we wanted to do that as a pilot work and use it to test the ground. And the whole philosophy, we were working with I think Max in UK. At that time, we were trying to create a corporation where we can develop a curriculum that will explore the utilization of dramatic skills. Within the health environment, hospitals, clinics, so that doctors and nurses, physiotherapists, people who work in the medical sphere will develop dramatic skills, theatrical skills, if you can go to that extent, that will help them to interrogate better and relate better with their patients and with people who have come to receive care, people who have challenges. But we couldn't go far because of different kind of challenges. And I also knew that, I remember that my tenure in that post was also hard because I had to resign voluntarily out of frustration from that in that so I think it's a unique thing, and I think it should be explored. Presently,
are you done, Doc, or is the network?
Okay, can you hear me? Hello?
Go ahead, we can hear you.
Okay. To the best of my knowledge, I'm not aware that in the core medical curriculum in any of our medical schools, I'm not aware that there has been any deliberate effort to inject theater, drama into the discourse, into the skills portfolio for students. Of course, we know that in 100 level, people go through a general at the University of Ibadan, it's called GES. I've forgotten the full meaning, which is to just introduce you to understanding culture, environment, and all of that. You know, but I think it's important, and I think it's going to be very useful if there is a meeting point. If this can come directly into medicine, I think medicine will benefit more from the dramatic skills because just linking that to interventions like music is very important, because sometimes there is a place where the medical intervention as it is just comes to a brick wall and cannot go further. There are so many situations like that. For instance, if we come to palliative medicine, where medicine can only do so much just to assuage pain, relieve pain, give some comfort, and cannot offer much much intervention in terms of cure. There are many aspects in medicine, especially in palliative medicine, where curative management is not the goal or objective. In those places, skills other than the normal clerking skills of how to interrogate patients will be very useful. Or let's say breaking bad news in medicine. This happens every time. There's a bad result that has to be broken. You go to some of the places and you are shocked how even the little that is taught in medical school is not utilized as best as possible. And you see doctors talking very harshly. You see nurses, being very rude in their attitude. And then people who have come to receive care ended up going back home with their emotions and ego bruised. And sometimes they go back worse than they even came. So I agree perfectly that a lot in the arts, the dramatic arts, in the written art, literary art, can be injected into mainstream medicine, not as per optional tools, but as direct tools that will help impact the healthcare that is offered. So I hope I've been able to respond to some of the issues raised, sir. Hello?
I can hear you.
Oh, okay.
So far,
personally. Thank you for your profound response to the issues raised. I also agree that in terms of etymology, it might just be referring to a space where some sort of activity or performance is taking place. It does not necessarily have to be about theater in the theatrical drama sense, but that something is happening there. Because I also know in the military, there is what you refer to as military theater or theater of war, where they strategize and do all sorts, and the entire activity of war and all that occurs there. So we can accept theater to refer to a space where performance happens. But for us in drama, for instance, it does not end there because it also involves a conscious action, where one person at least viewing that action, in space. These three elements will have to be there before we can refer to it as a theater, which is quite different from the surgery because you hardly invite an audience to sit and watch the surgeon perform on the patient. Yeah. So thank you so much. I see Etin Peter's hand is also up. So we'll sorry, I am improvising and taking the spot for Jerry so that we don't lose time and we don't miss the responses that come up. Yeah, so please bear with me. Etin, please, your hand is up. You have the floor.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning, sir.
Yes. I want to start by thanking the author or the playwright or poet. I took some time to go through the script last night. And I just said to myself, well, because naturally I like intelligent people. I like intelligent machine, So when I see something that looks deep and spiritual, it gets to me. And I said to myself, I'm very happy that people are still this intelligent and are still pulling with the tradition of what true art and theater should be. Because what I have seen, especially recently, is what is breaking my heart as an artist. What I see, I say, no, this is not what I was taught in school about what art is. We were taught that art provokes emotions. It provokes emotions. Poetry provokes emotions. And it also leads to the possession of that same emotions. So if this cannot be achieved, I don't think it can be called art anymore. We also were taught that art is like a potent tool, to fight injustices, correct maladministration, abnormalities. This is what the artist is. But what we see today is far different from that. Back to how art can be a therapy for people. There's no gainsaying that anything can be short of that, because the truth is, like one of the speakers said, I think Dr. Allah, about it was David that was called upon to play harp and sing music to King Saul, that was possessed by negative spirits, by evil spirits, and it worked magic. At least that's part of the history we know. So, but if we can consciously, understand that this is how it is, and then the administrators of arts and science, like in the medicine, to be specific, have the understanding that these two is the same. Art and science goes hand in hand. Socrates was both an engineer, a poet, an artist. We keep counting. These men that were referred to as intelligent people were not just artists. They were philosophers. They were deep. But today, who do we have? I heard one of the speakers said in the school there, a particular teacher decided to put together a unit or something that had to do with, using this art as a therapy, to aid the job. That is because that person understands, he believes or she believes that this would work. And then the right peg in the round peg in the round hole. You see, the right person was put there to push this narrative. If you come back home here, he was asking, is there anything like that in Nigeria? If you come back home here, once upon a time in Rivers State, the health commissioner wasn't even medically inclined. So this is the kind of place we live. If you tell him how art can be used to complement science, that commissioner will say you are mad, because he doesn't have any understanding, of how these things work. So, and then I listened. He was the chairman of the governing council. I was hoping the news would end well. I was hoping I would be proven wrong. Like, okay, at the end of the day, he was able to achieve this beautiful objective and desire in his mind, but he left out of frustration because Nigeria happened to him. Now, I know Nigeria happened to him. I just said, well, I don't want to give you trouble. Just carry on with your job. And I got broken when I heard him land on that note, because I was hoping good news would come from this part of the world. So getting results is not what administrators here, both in science and arts, it's just maybe a few of them, but getting results, like making sure people are healed. When they come to the hospital, they go back home better. But like you said, you go home broken. I have seen a case, including even that of my in-law, so they can't understand this. If we have a way of promoting this ideal, this truth, this well-researched truth, that art can be therapeutic, it can work to heal people, it can work to mend people, both emotionally and physically. Because most times, illness is of the mind. When the mind is not well, the body is not well. If you can work hand in hand with the system, understanding that arts and science, arts and medicine can go pari passu, it will end up taking us far. So I applaud you, sir, and I look forward to seeing this play, because I'm still calling it play. It is a poetic play. Let me put it like that. It's a poetic play. I want to see it go beyond the shores of this country, and I pray that the right set of people lay their hands on it and run with it. Because, you do something right and it gets to certain quarters and they say, I beg, keep this one here. But this is one project that should not be allowed to die. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
All right. Thank you, Etim, for that brilliant appreciation of brilliance. I like the fact that you say you like intelligent people. Uh, yeah, so
True. Believe me, true. I can call it my flaw. No matter how terrible they can be, but since they are brilliant, I just flow with them because we are getting them in less number today. I'm in the civil service, and you look at some persons that are your bosses, and you say, God, you know how it would be if you have brilliant hands. Yes, if you have brilliant hands, a lot of things will work for good.
that is true. So, sir, I would like to take you back to your love for John Keats, who has been mostly accused as being a romantic, people who just write to appreciate nature, to appreciate beauty. I remember, funny enough, I remember that my first fascination with John Keats, unlike you, whose fascination was with Ode uh, to the Nightingale, also, mine was Ode on a Grecian urn. And I was just fascinated that one person could actually look at an urn, a calabash, and come up with such imagery, such beauty. And ever since, the whole idea of, poetry being about love, being about beauty has stayed with me. But you have transited beyond the practice of medicine to also provide us with poetry that actually seeks to touch humanity, that actually seeks to improve lives, and so on and so forth. What would you say, aside the intersection between medicine and art, what would you say? I mean, because if you look at it again, you'll find that it is actually art that makes science and by extension technology more appreciable, more humane. Because if science were to just be science without
Yeah. Hello, sir. Hello.
We can hear you, sir. We
something
can
that
hear you, sir.
people,
Oh,
it wouldn't be something that people, sorry, a call came through, I had to cut it.
okay.
I hope
Okay,
you can
okay.
hear me.
Yes.
Okay, I can hear you now.
Aha. So, yeah, beyond that age-long intersection, what do you think is the future of science when the arts take a more profound, space in its practice?
Okay. Uh, well, I think that's a very big that's a very big question. Is looking at how things evolve, even as the world goes on. And talking about John Keats and his romanticism. You know, I actually I believe I don't believe that writing in truth, I really don't subscribe that writing should follow any kind of prescription. So I'm not exactly supporting heart for heart's sake. I'm not also against it. I don't believe that. I believe in legality. I don't believe in morality because morality cannot be fixated. So I don't also believe that literature or writing should be moralized. I think that there should be a lot of liberty and people should be able to express themselves the way they deem it fit. So the poets who just want to write about flowers should just be allowed to write about flowers. And the poet who wants to write about the dragon in the government house, should be allowed to do so too. And all should thrive. This is actually what I believe. And John Keats, the tragedy of John Keats, he died of tuberculosis at just about 25 years. If you look at it, he died so young. So we can only talk about the work he has produced, but we cannot imagine how much transition will have happened in his writing if he were to remain alive for perhaps 2 more decades or 3 more. Whether he will have talked about some things happening around him, apart from the sensuous and deep emotions of love that he focused on. But then again, the metaphor of writing is also there. Just if you are familiar with the Songs of Solomon in the Bible, it will look in the one at one instance just like love poem. But again, if you shine some other lights to it, you will get some other messages. And so also is the work of the writer, whether a playwright or whether a poet. Talking about the future, I think the new generation of humans that are coming now, and some people feel that we now have Homo mobilis. This new generation, this new species of humans, I'm not sure that they are going to be fixated in the narrative of the past. And I am hoping that the way I see them, they're going to break all these boundaries that have been set in recent times between science and the arts. I think that's going to happen. And we can already see that even in technology. A lot of painting is coming digital now. So it's going to be difficult for you to be able to assess the audience, whether you are a science person or you're an arts person. It's going to be difficult for you to assess the audience now in this age and time if you don't make use of all that is available, all the tech, all the science, and all the arts. So I think by and large, as the years go by in a few more decades, I think the lines will become more sublime. And I think this new species of humans that are evolving will try to develop solutions to suit the new challenges that they are facing. We have climate change. It's not just scientists that are facing climate change. Everybody's facing climate change. Everybody's discussing it. And we have the issues of human rights taking center stage in many parts of the world. And technology is just evolving in a dizzying spell. And these young ones that are coming, I think I cannot put my finger to it, but I think they are going to do something that will be completely different from what is on the table. And so eventually, it may just be that science and the arts, once more, may become fluid and may become just one puzzle of knowledge, the universality of knowledge one more time. And that may solve some part of the problem. Of course, that may also introduce new part of the problem or introduce new dimensions of problems, I mean.
Yes, certainly. With new innovation comes new challenges, new technicalities. Yeah, so and that is how the world keeps going round and round and round. Thank you so much. We are glad to have Jerry back. Jerry, we've been having quite the robust conversation here, and we are all excited.
I can imagine.
Yes. Yeah.
Honestly.
So we would like to call on.
In fact, I have to step on the streets. I have to step out on the street to be able to get back here. Sadly.
Oh my.
Network today. I think I need to get Elon Musk now. I need to get a Starlink, maybe.
Okay. Before I hand it back to you, I would like to invite Doc to give us a recital of one of his poems, or even two, that we could engage with, and then we move on from there.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will just then, two poems from the last published work, A Child of Smell. A Child of Smell, which was published 2017, right? my craft books. So I'll read A Traveler in Blue. A traveler set out on merry chains from heaven, earthbound with a jar of scents, wears a satin gown, a necklace of brass, a left hand in the right of a companion, past the terminals of water, past fire and past light, past noise and past the silence, past palms without color, where the living cannot tread. At last, in the mist, in mystic blue, dancing with silvery egrets at Benue's shore, she sings her arrival song. And then let me read one of the last poems in the collection, talking about singing of farewell. And that's Orishami. Orishami, the goddess that stands dressed in beads of water. See what I have brought for you, the last of the smell at the place of sacrifice. A fading smell of menstrual cycles. I bring to you the virgins of West Africa and their companions at the place where the road stand akimbo. Orishami, the one that speaks. Orishami, that caresses the night with paraffin smeared palms, that touches stains of daylight with bristles. All right, sir. So
brilliant, very brilliant.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay, those are the two. Sadly, especially with this network situation, unfortunately, we couldn't get the best of the we were supposed to read an excerpt from the play as well, but with this network, that is not very feasible, because we will not enjoy it. But however, Doc, what are you working on at the moment, or is it that
Yes.
medicine has claimed you back or something?
No, not exactly. It's been difficult because in the past 3 or 4 years, I needed to work on some of my medical interventions, setting up a new hospital with some colleagues. So that has reduced my ability and capacity to continue to interface with the community. I mean, the literary fraternity. But of course, I've continued my works, and I'm actually planning to come out with a series of some of my unpublished plays, which has accumulated over the years. And I'm looking forward to showcasing those ones. And I had this reading tour that I started some years back. The last outing was at the University of Nsukka. I'm hoping that I'll be able to look at the Nigerian security map and see where I can continue the trail without being kidnapped. So those are my those are my plans. So I just want to come out with some of my offerings. Yes.
Oh, okay. Maybe what to say is that since we couldn't read from the play today, and given the nature of internet facility, we should be organizing a physical play reading session very soon. Within the month of September, we could have one physical play reading session, because I can imagine Shade could not join because of network. Sheun could not join because of network. Salamatu came and disappeared his network. A lot of people were sending in message that network, which is true. It's been raining here since yesterday, 24 hours, until recently. So I am sure that affected our facility. But like I said, maybe before the next time we're having this, we would have enough money to get a Starlink, and we will not disenfranchise those who cannot participate physically. That's why we do this virtual thing. So on this note, let me say a very big thank you to Dr. Seyi Adigun. You are our own and you will always remain one. I don't know if anyone else have a question or a final word before we get the closing word from Dr. Seyi Adigun, and we are done for the day, so that we can go move on to other things. This was meant to be 90 minutes. Of course, it's not up to yet, but given the technical challenge, we could not do the reading as we planned. Dr. Dutola, sir, you have the mic.
Okay. This is just an aside. I don't know whether Dr. Seyi Adigun is related in any way to Dr. Bisi Adigun. I'm asking that because who knows whether this artistic and creative thing just runs in the genes of some families, and when they get to the river, some will go river arts, and others will go river medicine or science. Even if you're not related, at least the name connects you. But having said that, in your years of practice, is there any story you want to tell us of something that you have encountered in the course of your work that inspired you to write either prose, poetry, or works for performance? I just want to be an amebo, that's all.
Okay, thank you so much, sir. For the first question, I cannot say because I'm not familiar with the name Dr. Bisi Adigun. So it may be difficult for me to say whether we are related or not. But I guess we are not related. I'll look forward eagerly to meeting Dr. Bisi Adigun. Then concerning inspiration from medical practice onto the literary space, countless, several, and sometimes some of them become memories that I'm scared of looking back to. For instance, Call For Me, My Osheni is a direct reflection of experiences with patients in my practice, who fall within the purview of that storyline. Not a specific one though, but patients who are at that kind of situation, terminal and going and forlorn and in depression and alone. There was one night when I had one patient who told me, a young lady, was in my shifts, and she said, please, doctor, don't go. Because I know that if you go and another person takes these shifts, I will not be here in the morning, And I was torn into two. I didn't know what to say or what to do. And of course, I had to go because I have a family to go back to. And I have to continue my work. I have to continue to see other patients. And to do this, I must be able to cut my job into bits, into portions. And just like she said, when I returned in the morning, her bed was vacant. She was gone. So those stories are plenty. And sometimes looking at Nigeria and some of the challenges that we have, some of those stories are now memories that sometimes I am tempted to just try and seal up, if not, there is this thing that happened in psychiatry. We call it transference. If not, one, as a doctor, you will be suffering from transference, especially if you're a writer and you want to transcribe some of these your experiences, you want to permanent them into writing, you may just end up being caught up and becoming a sort of a victim of your own self. Thank you, sir.
I don't know whether I can.
Okay, Dr. Adigun. Please go ahead. And there are two more.
Yeah.
So we have, yeah. Go ahead,
Okay.
sir.
This one is something that I've thought about seriously, and I'm always wondering: is it really true that doctors learn bad handwriting? You have to that when you're going through your training, you also learn how to write in a very terrible way that patients cannot read what you have written. Well, that's
No,
on the light.
it's
on the light
it's
side.
not.
That's a good one, yes.
It's not
It's just
true.
It's a good
It's
one.
not true at all. Because if your writing is so bad, you will not even pass the exams, the written exams. So it's not true. And electronic medical record has now solved that situation, because mostly now doctors do not do direct writing again in ink and paper. Mostly everything in the electronic medium. So it's not true. It's just
it's one of those myths we carry around. Don't worry. As patients, we also try to little on the final note. And I just want to maybe you have thought about it, but I know that in law, there's this thing, the confidentiality between the patient, the client and the lawyer. In medicine, are there any ethical issues if you observe something and then you transfer it into writing, and a patient is able to identify himself or herself in the story? Would that be? Have any doctor that you know encountered such ethical challenges?
Well, no, and no doctor that I know in terms of writing. But of course, confidentiality is a major issue. It's not coming up well in Nigeria because our medical jurisprudence is still very poor, So many people do not know their rights.
That's it.
The aspect of anonymization. So I mean, you see something and you want to find a way to transmit this with historical perspective, so that a place for anonymization, which is the efforts from the observer to ensure that the storyline does not completely conceal any kind of identity, including self-identification. Because if you conceal the identity from others, and the patient or the index patient himself or herself identify him or herself, then there is still problem. So you must then have to employ that tool of anonymization, whether it's storyline, whether it's capturing some other things for research purposes. And of course, sometimes there may also be the issue of consent. You may have people who will willingly say, yes, I want you to push this story to the world. And then that solves the problem. So I think it's a balance between some of these concepts that is required to avoid any kind of infractions on either party. All right, sir.
Okay. So I think we can take, I have two hands up. Isaac from Zambia. Can we quickly take Isaac from Zambia? And then Uncle Peter Alon Nishoma is also having his hand up there. Isaac.
Yes,
Isaac.
Jerry.
Okay.
Are you able to get me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes.
Okay. Forgive me, I'm in a noisy place. Like I said earlier on, I'm at a festival. We have a national festival in Lusaka. So I've just found a corner to hide to participate in this very important conversation.
How is the weather in Lusaka?
It's hot now. It's getting hot during the day and a little bit cold in the evenings. Yeah. First, I love when Jerry shared in one of our groups about the arts as a therapy. I got interested immediately. Reason being, I also do community theater. As you are aware, community theater we deal with social issues in various communities to raise awareness. And currently, many are so much focused on health. Now, looking at art as a therapy was a more interesting thing. So I decided to take the back row and listen more so that I can learn more on how and why art is a therapy and, the benefits that comes with it and the relationship of it being a therapy. So, Doc, thank you for those insights. I enjoyed. Of course, I was missing some, but I enjoyed. I'm looking forward to a more expanded conversation on this matter because many a time we have challenges where you want to tell a performance. Of course, we all know how effective and impactful a performance can be. Then you think it's only comedy that can act as a therapy to make one, stress-free and the like. But there could be more other approaches that can take a lot of toxics from our systems as a people so that we enjoy good health. And also, I read in the chat for the University of Florida, offering art as medicine as well. So all these conversations, if we continue to, engage, could be in this manner or any other way, we could exactly live as change, agents of change on many issues that societies are going through. The challenge we are having is we haven't taken much interest in the relationship of our art as a therapy or medicine for many issues. And when we want to do that, we miss out on how do we craft a piece that can effectively, get to the core business that we want to get. So basically, I wanted to just commend the organizers and Doc and the entire team for those, questions, those explanations and discussions on this matter. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. And Isaac, there is a question for you in the chat. Maybe not a question, but you should invite us to your festival next time.
No, I can make connections.
So
It's a national festival. I can engage the National Council because for the first time it's a fresh festival, so it needs interaction so much.
Okay.
We are running it for the third time. You see, the National Council with the Ministry of Sport, Youth and Arts organizing. So we have a team from Russia performing. We have a team from Japan performing. So I don't think it can be a bad idea to expand on that, network. So I'll forward to the art director about the conversation.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. And so we go quickly and we'll take Uncle Pete. You have the mic.
Okay, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Good, good. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's also I've been very pleased with all I've heard so far. I came in quite sneakily because I was late into the thing and thought I can escape with all of that one. Kole, nice to see you again. I'm so pleased you are going to harass me publicly, but thank God I have an Aburo Ishe who will fight for me.
Yes.
when you try to oppress me. Seyi, it's been following you ever since when I was still very much around. I've been very impressed with your tenacity of putting up poetry, particularly as a medical person. And just about a couple of days ago or so, at another forum that was also international, celebrating the works of celebrating This Is Our Chance significantly by
James
James
Enencha.
Foundation. Yeah, it was also revealed that a lot more medical people are becoming more pronounced in the arts, particularly in writing. And I think it's quite a large crucible that a lot of medical people, maybe some of them not unrealized yet, are trying to also come into that. But what it says to me is that we are having a lot more people who are supra intelligent or supra sensitive to situations of the human existence and the human situation, and therefore have come into the world of literature to be able to explain that. And whether we like it or not, I will applaud you because you are one of the first I have known in that regard to broach that. And you have not only broached that, you have shown your supra sensibility. Because I mean, in one would expect as a medical doctor, when you are talking, you will be speaking medical language to everything, but it is not so. You have come on the plate of the literary stance which you are standing on to say that there's a whole lot more that can come from you, and I will applaud you for that. And I can only say that even from the poetry you read, Orishami is more. I mean, I don't know. Maybe because of some kind of affinity I share with you, or filiality I share with you. It rings of a deep cultural sentiment there. And I was saying to myself, if this man was standing before the tombstones of ACA chanting this, it should have made it should have been very dramatic and been a very massive ploy. But then again, I would just say that you are, whether you like it or not, whether you want to acknowledge it as that or not, and you want to allow humility, your agbada of humility to cover your shirt and tie. You have made your mark, and your mark is registered and noted. And whatever you will do, you'll be one of the very few to have come out of Nigeria and come into that. I hear now that there's a big thing about there's a professor. I mean, sorry, there are two professors in the Department of Medicine now who are also literary professors in that department in the University of Ibadan. So it may be something nice you might want to tap into to see there's some kind of resource that can aid your path in the light of all of this. Otherwise, I am very appreciative to Jerry as well for this platform, and bringing out Seyi. I didn't think it would be Seyi. In fact, to be honest with you, I'm afraid of showing myself because I just woke up from a production which we had last night. I came in last night and I just saw the thing and I just jumped into it. So thank you very much, everyone, for your attention. I have listened to everything, your contributions. Etin Peter, yes, you spoke very well. Thank you. I love the sense you brought into it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Egon. And let's take Mr. Silva. Let me be humble now so that I won't be taken to court. I have removed the prop from it. Mr. Silva, sir. I see your hand up.
Good
Let's
afternoon,
take
sir.
you.
Thank you, Mr. Jerry. Thank you so much. And
Thank you.
great to be amongst these brilliant minds. And thank you so much. So I just wanted to answer, just choose to make a contribution to Dr. Kole Odutola's first question when he asked about what sort of things actually happen in the country as regards arts in medicine and arts in health. In fact, one of the not pioneers, but one of the accelerators of the concept of arts in medicine and art therapy is a Nigerian, young Nigerian by the name of Olawale Lakunle. He is actually based in Manchester, and he's done a tremendous amount of work across the globe, including Nigeria, on arts in medicine and arts in health. My wife, who is a physician, has also a fellowship of the same training, and I think he's a Mandela Washington Fellow who graduated some time back and focused this. So there's been a huge amount of work done by his institution. Is called Arts in Medicine. You can check that online. Anybody that wants to dig deeper, Arts in Medicine. There's Arts in Medicine Fellowship, and then there's Arts in Medicine Projects. Both of them. The first one is artsinmedicinefellowship.org. The second one, artsinmedicineprojects.org. And you can see the massive amount of work we do. And there's even a national health week is inaugurated in Nigeria. I happen to be on the advisory board. And he brings the government and brings everybody together and brings in events, brings in people from across the globe. So interestingly, he's accelerated this concept globally. I just wanted to add that. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. I was actually going to mention, because I know about Madam's involvement in this. So thank you for also mentioning that. Also to mention that there was something I had tried to do. I don't know if I mentioned it to Dr. Adigun then. This is 2024. So that was like 10 years ago. I was in Sweden, Stockholm, on a media tour. I was with Next newspaper then. And so I was included in a media tour by Swedish Institute, and we visited a couple of institutions in Sweden. And one of the places we visited during that trip was the Astrid Lindgren, I hope I pronounced that name very well, Astrid Lindgren Memorial Hospital for Children. Who is Astrid Lindgren? That's the author of Pippi Longstocking, which is Sweden's most popular children literature. Not just Sweden, in fact, almost all over the world, Pippi Longstocking has become a brand. And just last year in Nigeria, they celebrate the 75th anniversary of creating that character. Not the author. The author is late now, but Pippi Longstocking as a character in a creative work was celebrated 2022 was 75th anniversary, and it was done all over the world. But that's not where I'm going to. Where I'm going is that when we got to the Astrid Lindgren Memorial Hospital, it has a whole department called Department of Theater. And when I mean theater, I don't mean the clinical theater, I mean our own kind of theater, with 32 staff. I can't remember the name of the head of the department as at that time now, but I know I still have his card. 32 staffs, actors, comedians, musicians, a total of 32 staff members in the Department of Theater who are supporting the works of the medical doctors, the scientists, and everybody. And you understand. So that was the first time saying that. So when village people go to international settings, sometimes you are surprised by all the good things that you see, and you get excited. And I came back home, and I went to the National Theatre, National Hospital. I started making findings, and in fact, unless they will answer me tomorrow, that was just by the side, because I felt like this is impressive. So back here, how do we also begin? Of course, for those of us who are Christian, we used to make reference to the fact that King Saul was possessed by an evil spirit, and it takes a David to come and play music for him to be how do they call that in now? For him to become normal. However, the reason I raise this also is because of what Prof. just said, and the message in the box by Dr. Kole Odutola. Good thing, I think, first thing I will speak with you and try to reach out to the brother in Manchester and see, okay, what is happening, what is doing. I will check those results, and then we will see, in line with the suggestion that Prof just made, because I think that there has not been any deliberateness in our incorporation of arts into medicine in Nigeria. There has not been any sort of deliberateness about it. I remember going to Gwarimpa General Hospital with this same idea of doing some stuff, and they said, no, noise. As far as they are concerned, theater, drama, circles, or whatever you want to talk about, reading poetry. And the man then asked me, who do you know that poetry has ever healed? That was the question the man asked me back when I went there. So I think there will be a follow-up to this session. Even personally, I missed a lot because there are some conversations that I didn't get to, partake in. But the video is there. We'll share the video, and then we'll see where we move, from there. So this is just me now saying thank you to everyone, but we'll give the space for Dr. Adigun. If there is a final word in just 2 minutes, what will be your final word? But for me to also inform this platform, for some of us know already, that the Roger Royal Theatre runs an international theatre festival, which started last year. Like our brother from Zambia mentioned, is also new. So we are still struggling to put things together. But the second edition will happen this year in November. And for me, this is just a way of telling Dr. Adigun to prepare to have a role to play in that festival. But until myself and Dr. Olai Fatimei get back to our, table and decide what we are going to have you do. But I think that we will be pretty much happy to have you play a role in that festival, especially because the theme for this year is the art of humanity. The art of humanity is the theme for this year. Dr. Olai Fatimei is the artistic director for the Abuja International Theatre Festival. So you have the floor. Closing word from you.
From me?
Yes.
Okay. Jerry, thank you. I want to thank everybody for the honor, for being present, and for the participation. I will close with the ceramics are broken. Orishami, you asked for a sacrifice in ceramics. You that furrows your brow at weakness. Yellow and brown ceramics have heard your voice, and the ceramics are broken, cracked, uneven with a clatter. The Hoffal listed Hofflines spill out with gasps of breath. Let the smell come out to you, the things in the belly of a bird, left eye of a stray cat, wings of a bat. Let the smell come out to you, freely in the air, carcass of a vulture. Speak now, I beg you for the last time. Show me the way, teach me a farewell song, anthem of departure. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So on this note, we draw the curtain on today and the 40th edition of Holding Talks. Until we'll come your way again in 2 weeks. We run 2 weeks now, 2 within a month. one is always a full play reading and interactive session, while the second one, like this one, is specifically dedicated to industry players, newsmakers, people like Dr. Seyi Adigun. And I'm sure that one of these days we are going to drag Egon, Peter, and Dr. Colley on this platform to also share their experiences with us. The whole idea is, you will see that most of the time I even talk less. Mine is just to bring the guest and then bring the participants and put you together. So my role is just to create that platform. Most of the time, I just listen unless I have questions to ask as well. So thank you, everyone that has come. Thank you even to all those who registered but were not able to join due to network challenges. We love you still and see you some other time. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Isaac, please drop your contact. Isaac Kalumba. I want to come to Lusaka.
Yes, I can hear you.
We all want to come to Lusaka.
Yes.
Yes.
Talk to me.
We want to come to Lusaka.
Send us your details.
I've sent my details in the chat.
Lusaka is on my itinerary for 2025.
Oh, wonderful. Wonderful. Let's see how we work it out.
Yeah.
I can't see your details. Your contact details.
You can see that. Let me send that again.
Oh,
before
okay.
we are chased out.
All right.
If you can't see, I will send it to you, Dr. Colley.
Okay.
I do have it. I have his details. He's my brother. I have his details. So if you don't get it from me, I'll send it to you as soon as we are done.
Okay.
Oh, thanks a lot, Jerry.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, Tim, Peter, Stella, Answer. Thank you. And
all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Adigun.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Adigun. I'm going to send you the contact of Dr. Bisi Adigun. He used to be in Kwasu. He was in theater in Kwasu with the late the man who founded the arts in Kwasu. He's now in another university. Yes, Bisi Adigun, a fantastic director. So yeah, you both should meet. You both should meet somehow.
All right.
I'll send his details to I have his.
I know Dr. Bisi Adigun too.
Yes. Please link them together.
Thank
we
you,
we met in 2000 during the production of Langbodo in Abuja.
Yes. He worked with Abiola Irele. He worked with Abiola Irele.
Yes.
At Kwara State University.
Okay.
Yes. Okay.
University.
All right.
Yeah.
Peter, don't think that Peter Olorunsomo, my case and your case is going to the court of creativity. Don't worry. I'm going to see you.